doing an achievement run, which I just got. Well, I wanted to on the dog unlock full force or whatever it's called, frame for the dog, which I did. It'll be in dual wield for 5 minutes. It's glitching, and I was going to send some videos off of just the dual wield not being extended, even if you have that and that are the sort of two that you want to keep up. And we got injectors that are virtually getting 20 ammo every half second. So I had no problems in needing that, and I'll show you that. We've got 2 of those, and that pops up over 2,000 rounds because we're in the middle of killing. So it's got the 50% rate of fire on kill, and then you've got 50% and an extra projectile there, 1.2, so 20%. So we're really fulfilling it to keep maxed out, and it just will disappear really fast. And I got a video of that. But just showing you that I'm unkillable because of the build I've got. I mean, I've only got 1 in that, but 3 of those are wonderful. And I always put that as a top priority over DPS because I always get spores on a injector and a Argus or Wild Hunt as my shotgun. So the spores will only do well if it's got the heavy lifting of a high projectile shotgun, which I don't have because I was wanting things not to die quickly. I had it early in the run just to pew and get my things up, my ascensions, and I got rid of all DPS scrolls. I had to, so they're just survival here. Heavy shield and that are nice, but this one and this one, changing all of my shield into health, and the health regen of this makes it unkillable. It's only a 1 because I was just doing an achievement run, but I can't kill anything. Just showing the spores needs a weapon, and I got a Craftsman there. So these things will just drop you on an 8, the cavalry. Just one of them in front of you. So we're staying some health. This was sort of the hardest stretch before the boss, and it's killing it slow. I'd be killing really fast with a shotty and with an Argus there. It'll be hitting over, I usually have my shotgun right up to like 30 or so by the boss time, over 500 damage, and then a projectile count of 16.25. It just smashes. And I'll put up a video of that soon. I've actually got a video of how to beat R1 to 8s on every hero. I did it on an R1 to make the video a bit shorter. I'm killing alright, to be honest, without really having ascensions. And spores just, a lot of the videos out there just don't include spores because it only got changed in August 2022 as a patch because nobody was using it. So most of the builds, most of the runs are telling you, Miasma builds for the Crown Prince and Combustion, and they are lackluster spores. Now there's a shotty here. Let's see the difference. Let me just use my left hand. What have I got on my left? Okay, this is good. Just 1. We do get the 50% from dual wield. It's killing all right. If we can increase that number from 40 to this shotgun just here even. How do I let this dual wield just get rid of it? I want to pick up that weapon. It's going to replace which weapon? That one. Okay, well let me re-roll that. Temporary. So we just reforge. It's got no projectile count, but it's hitting for 500. So it should at least hit the spores for, what's that, 12 times harder when they hit, stack of 30. So it will do something, but not as good as, a proper shotgun that you need. The Argus of the spores with the multiplier on the right, there'll be another number. So we'll get spores after a hit. And I'll just, I remember which is the right weapon to press here because I've got them selected before. Just with that one, it's doing better damage just because of the harder hitting, showing you how spores work. It's melting stuff a lot more. Just because the spores, when it's hitting 30, it's hitting hard. You can use your other weapon, but it's really not doing much of the heavy lifting. So I want to get a shotty. These are shielded, so let me get this guy out. I might as well do that. That, not dying. So I'd say 2 injectors were good for the achievement because it just meant that when one was reloading, the others were putting ammo on and keeping it up. And we had over like 3,000 rounds, so we were refilling spores when it was working. I mean, dual wield with the battle tested. Should have been refilling it, but it was glitching. So just changing that weapon, just showing you that the base damage on that. I'll swap them around. It won't let me do it in dual wield. Press F. Have to let it run down. And I'm going to go back to that gun on my main hand. Both are good, but this has just got rate of fire is what you want, and that's got rate of fire on killing enemy, but this one has rate of fire on killing an enemy, but for the first 50%, so that's why it was over 2k. And the faster you plant the spores, the heavier it hits. We're just coming up to the boss. I'm hoping for a shoddy, not to kill the boss, but just to show you the difference on the run, but it's a bit late. I'm looking for a peddler or anything with a multiplier that even isn't the best gun, like the wheel saw or the hell, or because they've got all projectile counts. They're not got the good base damage and multipliers. Like, and we got this here, so let's run back. There we got it. We got the wild hunt, just to show you the difference. So the video I wanted to make was about spores. That's going to lock us out, isn't it? So what I'll have to do is kill with the one that I've already re-rolled. Spores. I did that have spores on it. Let me see. One of those might have spores. That's got spores. Wonderful. Perfect video to show here and not die in the time. There. So we've got spores. Now look at the difference. This is without doing dual wheel. With one-shotting. And the difference is here, and I haven't got it upgraded. It would be like 25 at this level, and it would be like 450 by here, 500 on the boss. So it's hitting only half as hard. It's only an R1, but on an R8 we'd be doing similar damage with this sort of thing if we'd up. And there's a video that I've done on doing R1 to 8s on each hero and how to get spores early. And obviously you need to have your skills, but if you're doing an 8, down to the etching, which is the right on the talent tree that you can etch, and that allows you in the first act to get spores on 2 weapons similar to this. Doesn't matter if this weapon, just fast fire rate. Doesn't matter about the inscriptions, and it doesn't matter about the inscriptions here, except for the dog. I mean, it does pew pew. When you're on a boss, you can just be clicking both. And it does the damage, and it's hitting so hard because it is high, but on other heroes it doesn't matter. It can be a low weapon like this, a 6, and this be 30, and you'll smash that last boss in an R8. And these inscriptions don't matter on other heroes. It's just that number, the projectile count, and that. If this was an Argus, that'd be 16.25, so it's marginally better, and the base damage is similar on both guns. So they're the best 2 spore weapons, shotguns. So let's do, so if we're doing, we don't need dual wield in this because it's an R1, but let's go dual wield, which gives us 50% weapon, and survivability is the main reason, and you can just right click your wild hunt as well if you want to add some damage in. We've got ammo extractor, so you're never going to run out of ammo. I just did 5-minute achievement where you have to be in dual wield for 5 minutes. And I don't know if I showed the scrolls. I've done a few videos along this run because I tossed out all my DPS stuff because I just didn't want things to die, but and I'll toss that on the boss. If I was doing an achievement, you'd go up to the boss, get your ascensions, and then toss your shoddy on the ground, get your 5 minutes for the unlocking of the frame, and then pick up your shoddy and just destroy him. So you got to get rid of your spore one. And let's see here. I'm not going to need the right. I'm just in here for the regen and being unkillable. You don't even need to use a shoddy. Though on an 8 I would if something came up close, do a wild hunt in the face of a mountain guard or cavalry. But I just did a room where I had the whole room on me and was just standing still. There were snipers on me. A bit like this, but I didn't have spores, so nothing was dying. And like if I toss this gun now, just to show you, I'm not killing anything. It's for the gun. This is just a fast fire rate to get the spores stacked. I'm not getting spores in this, but even I had the other weapon I showed you. It just wasn't keeping me alive, but it's not doing the heavy lifting. It's just as soon as you get that when the spores reach 30, it just melts. Melts elites, melts bosses, melts everything. And I haven't even got my, shoddy upgraded because I just picked it up. So this video really was just to show why Spores is the best ascension in the game, and as I said, it only got patched in August of 22, which I played the game and picked it up at Christmas. I got over 500 hours and I've had a lot of fun doing R8s on every hero, and that took me a long time to work out. I always did Spores, but you know, it just twigged for me. I do, as a starting, I do Overconsumption in the Lone Wolf if I'm doing solo, and then I choose always Craftsman's Inheritor. You have to have that to be able to get Spores early, because money is such a... I'm capped on essence. I'm not going to go back for gold or essence. And haven't been spending gold because I've not been upgrading anything. So I didn't want to kill anything quickly. So it's boss time. Now if you're doing the achievement here, and I've already got it, what you would want to do if you had the Spore weapon, you should have got it beforehand on the rims, but just say you got your ascension now. I think this boss is probably a good one to get 5 minutes on. You just toss your shoddy on the ground, get your 5 minute counter, see the full force, whatever the name of it is, for the frame to unlock for the dog, and it does pop up as a big gold one on this. You'll see it on the screen. I had a timer on the other screen to know when it was coming, got a second monitor, and then you just pick it up and kill the boss. You don't need to. I don't need to kill this boss, but let's see what Spores does even with an upgrade, with a weapon that's not upgraded. I know it's a 1, but right click his face for crit spot, and we're going to dual wield just for health regen. So you get your 5 minutes, I reckon, on him. Let's toss the shoddy, which won't do any damage to him, very little. And you could do your 5 minutes, I reckon. I better go into dual wield that. I require both weapons. You can't choose your shoddy, throw your shoddy, I forgot. Sorry about that. Well, you want to have a weapon like I did that has, you can pick up a weapon on the vendor there that doesn't have Spores on it or something, and you might not get the boss kill. Now, I would have him melted if I'd have my shoddy upgraded. Not doing too bad, really. Let's go into dual wield to melt him because of the 50%. Didn't need the survivability even. See how it just melts? But just the sanguine, this here and that there was enough to keep us up without being in dual wield. The defense just with those 2 scrolls and the 1 ascension I've got in here, I wasn't using that because you could have been, actually that is health per sec. That's just giving you max health. But the last one gives you health per second, so that's a really good one to get up for survivability if you're doing R8s. But really, those 2 scrolls are replacing that paranormality and sanguine. Just good to understand how Spores works. A lot of people, like, let's walk into these. A little bit of damage, but you just get it back up straight. We have enough to do the burn phase. No, we won't, but I don't care because we're not going to die. We're really unkillable. You'd melt him in the burn phase if this shotgun was up. I have on an 8. There's a video on the channel of me doing it on the bunny, similar sort of thing. The Spores, maxed out weapon, and killing it effortlessly. And I've tossed all my scrolls. Didn't choose damage ascensions purposely, and we're still killing it because we're unkillable. And we can stay in dual wield forever, so if you've got survival instincts, 3 of those, boy, that makes you unkillable on 8. I'm just standing in front of his cleaves, standing in purple, not hurting me. The unkillable dog. A bit of fun. I really like playing the achievements because I played some builds that I don't usually play because I can be successful in what I usually do. Just to show you that there is on the other page here a great SlightRNG. This is on the video if you're looking about the dog, how to beat, get Spores, how to smash and destroy on 8s, just one-shotting everything on the way through. So that's there, and that's the guide. He has the best tier guides for the different builds, and I've tried the atomic bomb and all of that, but I mainly use my ascensions for survival. So the top picks at the top are getting extended dual wield, but I always use an injector because of the fire rate and don't have to aim, which makes it a bit easier. but they're a bit of fun to play with, and I did try each of the builds just to keep a variety, to try something I don't usually run with, because you get your patterns, and the bunny is my main, and you know, you get your patterns, and I tried with him swords out build, which is sort of a defensive one, and swords, and stacking lots of swords as you press your main E ability. I tried the blossom build where you're doing your Q and your swords are hitting them, but the most powerful on that, because it synergizes with Spores well, is, and that's all on the build, you know, I just gave a variety of not just sticking with the ascensions and realizing there's other ways to play this character. I don't even need the dual wield for this, you know, just need my survival instinct for when I get hit now and then, and to get my dual wield. Doesn't even matter if I haven't got that filled out for survivability. This is my starting priority, even though he hasn't got that, because he's not including Spores doing the heavy lifting for the DPS. Anyway, best of luck on your runs. Spores rocks. And I just thought I'd do an example on the dock, because I could throw down, be unkillable on some trash and throw down a weapon, pick up a shoddy as we did, which didn't do brilliant, but did a bit more than just having an injector that was 47 on the damage. It was, you know, 580 or something. And then just picking up the Wild Hunt here, even though it wasn't upgraded, we picked it up as level 10 on Act 4. But even with that being 200 instead of 550, it pulled its weight to be successful. So I thought I'd just do a bit of a video on Spores to clarify. I was reading a Reddit post and people were saying, I like in the main hand, you know, I have the shoddy in this one, they're doing double shoddy, and they're using as their main one the illusion, which has a very low projectile count of 4, I think it is. Very good weapon on its own without a pre-Gemini. You know, it's good to clear the first act. I'll often use it on any hero until I get my Spores build, you know, pick up the right weapons. But it just needs your fire rate over 1,000 rounds in 100 seconds, and this will proc over 2,000 with the inscriptions on here. And that means that we're getting to 30 stacks near instantly, again and again and again and again, and this is making those hit really hard, really quickly. So just thought I'd do a bit of explanation about Spores. Let's see what we did for the run. So did some terror. Look, 45. It's usually, I don't know, 500,000. On a one it would be. And he made 100 because I was just splurging and rolling at the beginning to get, well, ultimate gambler. Cost me a bit because I knew I'd be capped out at the end. Anyway, best of luck. We got our frame. Let's have a look at the frame, eh? All that work. Let's see what we got for it. That's the one that glitched. Upset about that. So I've done the bird there. I did the turtle. Did the bunny. It was successful. I'm yet to do that one, which I'll do now. And we got full force. Let's choose it. Apply it. And I get a little sparkly thing on my name. And when I'm in here with my friends, they see that, hey, he's unlocked the frame, which I play with my two sons in their 20s and his mate when we unlocked stuff. So it doesn't do anything, but it is disappointing that I have just unlocked that, which was 5 minutes to prove to Gunfire, and I do not have the 60-second dual wield achievement unlocked. Glitched. Bummer. Okay, I'll catch you guys later. Have a good run. Spores rocks.